Here we have an SRS module that came in for repair, and the customer mailed over two of them. The original, which he mentions has damaged or burned components on the board, and he mailed over this donor so we can transfer the programming from this one over to this one here. Let's read what the customer wrote. The customer wrote, got a car with a faulty SRS module, damaged resistors inside. Ordered a used unit, but its VIN coded to the car. Want the old one fixed, or the chip containing the VIN data transferred to the new used module? Whichever way is good. The customer said, burned resistors, and I see a piece of tape here with some markings to where those resistors are. We do not know if the resistors are the only thing wrong with this board, so maybe it's wise to transfer the microcontroller from this one to the other one. Let me look at the customer's board. We do see something going on here. Now those resistors may have burned on their own, or something else caused them to burn. We do not know if there's anything else wrong with this board. So I think the best thing to do is to transfer this chip from the old faulty board to this used working board. That's what the customer wants. We do have big capacitors here, so we have to be careful. We do not want to expose those caps to a lot of heat. Maybe we can apply heat from the bottom to desolder that chip. Pin number 1 is on the bottom, right here. Let's start with the customer's board and desolder that chip. Fume extractor on, hot air station on. And the board is smoking, the tape burnt, and it created smoke. Right now I'm applying heat from bottom of the board. Now the other method would be to apply low melt solder on that chip and remove it that way. So really more than 101 ways to skin a cat. That's what we do on this channel, skin cats. Let's put this on the side. We're gonna get the donor board, remove that chip, prep the pads, and we are back in business. Now for this one here, for the sake of this video, let's remove that chip with low melt solder. Just for the sake of this video. So you can see that we can do it. We can remove the chip using hot air, or we can do it with low melt solder. Where can you find information like this on YouTube? Nowhere. So for this one, we're gonna be using NF.Mini, the NorthridgeFix mini solder pen. I applied a tiny bit of low melt solder. We want to soak those pins with low melt. And we have a capacitor on top. What time? Since the chip is big, we're not going to be able to heat up all 4 corners at the same time to remove that chip. So we're going to apply a tiny bit of hot air, just a little bit. And I'm doing it from the top. Look at this. Done. See? The magic of low melt solder. How many times do I need to talk about the magic of low melt solder? If you're in the same type of business or you are doing this as a hobby, You can purchase low melt solder off our site, NorthridgeFix.com, along with this amazing microscope, ring light, anti-glare light, which I'm not using right now, but I should because we have a lot of glare. So let's go ahead and use our anti-glare light. Anti-glare, or if we turn off the anti-glare light and we turn on the ring light, you'll get something like this. So you know the anti-glare light is magic. Same as the low melt solder, right? You can purchase the microscope, articulating arm, ring light, anti-glare light, soldering station, hot air station, original Amtech Flux like the one we are using in this video, and the braid wig that we're going to be using in this video, thermal camera, tweezers, whatever you need. Get all your tools from one shop. Just log into NorthridgeFix.com, click on shop, add to cart, checkout, pay, and we almost always ship out same day. For all of you who have ordered from us before, you know how fast we ship. Look at that braid wig. It did not even flinch. It sucked all that solder and it did not even flinch because it's thick braids. Unlike the ones that you buy from China where the braid will fall apart. We pick and choose what to buy from China. China, they make a lot of good products, a lot of good tools, but not everything from China is good. And quality check plays a big role when ordering stuff from China. We have to know who we are working with and quality check. Modify the tool, quality check, brand it, and we have a tool that's untouchable after we are done with the process. Right now we have two options. We can put the chip on the pads like this, and then we can solder the chip with a soldering iron, or we can pre-apply solder on the pads and we can heat up from the bottom and that chip will fall in place. How should we do it? Let's pre-apply solder. I would have went over both options if I had one more board to work on, but I do not. I've done this so many times. You can watch previous videos soldering a similar chip or a bigger chip. Again, I'm using NF.mini, and just look at how nice this soldering pen is. Precise, accurate, and it generates a lot of heat. I do not want to drag sideways so we do not rip those pads off the board. Down motion is good. And very nice. Now what we can do here is we can solder one pin, maybe one pin from this side and one pin from the upper side, or we can just apply hot air and surface tension will pull on that chip. 101 ways to solder that chip. Now I'm gonna extend the board beyond my bench, and for this one I'm gonna use the ring light. It's always a combination of a ring light, anti-glare light, or both, or one of them. It depends on the situation. right? Now what I can do is go over the pins one by one. I'm sure every pin is making a connection, but just for security, let's touch up on the pins so you can see how it's done. So what I'm doing is touching the pin and the pad at the same time. Not just the pin and not just the pad, both. Okay, so the area is tight here because of the caps, the tall caps, but the soldering iron is fine. Very precise tip, and we can get into tight places. Now let's go ahead and check. Make sure all the pins are solid. Look at this. Every single pin is making a very solid connection. Okay, so all the pins are solid and we are done. Clean up, invoice, and mail it back to the customer. Use Amtech wipes, NorthridgeFix brush, and I'm using 99% isopropyl, but anything above 91% is good. And people always ask, where do you buy 99% isopropyl from? You cannot buy it from stores. Some areas or some countries, they may sell it in stores, but here in California, we do not have it in stores. I buy it online off Amazon or Target. They have 91%, which is good. Awesome. Anything over 91% is good, but do not use 70%. And just look at those joints. Look at those pins. And tell me it's not better than factory. Look at this. Look at the solder between the pin and the pad. Awesome. We are done. We're gonna invoice and mail it back to the customer. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think of it down in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll do something else in the next video. We're gonna mail both units back to the customer.